Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Friday. Sound off in the chat. How's everyone doing today? Guys, hey, it's payday. It's DCA day, and it is dump day. Bitcoin currently trading at 89, 114, and 88 cents. Like I said yesterday, as long as we stay higher than the low here, I'll be happy. If we go lower than that, that'll stink for sure. We'll evaluate that when it happens, if it happens. As of right now, we still got a higher low. And we could potentially go, unfortunately, all the way down to 85 something. 85, 86, we'll call it 86. And bounce. And we'll be good. What's going on, Pahid? What's going on, Giovanni? What's going on, Coinbase? TGIF, I guess? TGIF, indeed. Not a whole lot going on here. I think this is going to be my first free weekend in a very long time. So I'm going to fill it with laundry. And I'm probably going to try to fix my stupid van again, because I'm still unsure what the problem is. Doesn't help that all the effort that I put into it last week was for naught, because Amazon decided to send me the wrong brake caliper, which is pretty cool. Love it. Love that. But I get the money back from that, which is cool. But I got to spend it again to get another one, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, Bitcoin 89.73. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map. I was going to leave the lines on here, but basically it looked like this, and we hit all of them. So you get the gist. Like I said, though, we're still higher low territory, and heading into the weekend. Rate cuts potential next week. We did have a full moon yesterday. I don't know if today counts as a full moon as well, so the dumpiness is not completely unexpected. Let's see, we got 88, 195. We've got 87, 826. We've got, I'm going to go, I guess all the way down here, 86, 573. And then up top, right here, what is that, just 90? 89, 965. And then the very tippy top up here, I guess I'll go right here, 90, 849. Yeah, that's nothing crazy. If we start to go up, I'll put the next one up. But for now, we're just chilling. We are chilling. Like I said, Bitcoin 89, 117. We are so far retracing the entire recovery, it seems. But this is a recurring theme. We get a dump, recovery, dump, recovery, dump, recovery. If it continues this trend, which I'm sure it's going to, we're probably going to eat like 70% or more of the previous recovery. Drummer said, don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. Guys, last night, it was on HBO. I was very excited. I watched Weapons, the new, I don't even know, can you call it a horror movie? It was, the label was like drama and suspense or something like that. And it was so appropriately labeled. Brilliant movie. It was really weird. Super weird. But not in like a, I don't understand any of this and it bothered the crap out of me at the end kind of way. In like a, wow, somebody wrote an original story and I enjoyed it kind of way. Kind of blew my mind. I was like, whoa, an original story. What? It was really good. Highly recommend. Tishu said, yo, Lunk, did anyone buy or trade it? We called it yesterday. We did look at it yesterday. I pointed out, Tishu, when you mentioned that earlier in the Discord earlier tonight, that Do Kwon is being sentenced on the 11th. So there's a good chance it continues to pump. This is a big fat reversal candle right here, that red one. But it's Lunk, so probably doesn't care about candles. It has recovered the full October 10th dump, so it is technically doing better than the rest of the market since October 10th, which is kind of hilarious. If you would have bought yesterday when we looked at it, I don't remember. Did we have 2 or 3 Friday? No, it had to have been. Okay, so yesterday had to have been this candle right here. If you would have bought that, then currently you'd still be up 71%, which is pretty crazy. What if I said, tell us about black shirt today? It's Minecraft. Today's the Minecraft shirt again. Featuring Jason Momoa and Jack Black. Pretty sick. This one's one of my favorites because it's like 1980s style cartoon band shirt, but it's Minecraft. It was ridiculously cheap. I think it was like $9. And we went and saw the movie. And then we went to Walmart afterwards to like grab groceries or whatever, and there was a whole like kiosk in the center of the aisle with all this Minecraft stuff, and there was just packed with shirts. I was like, no way. So we all got matching Minecraft shirts, which is pretty awesome. Giovanni said, you should watch Bring Her Back, great horror movies. I'm actually going to type that in here right now. I don't know why I've been on, like, I usually listen to spooky stories and stuff, but I've been wanting to watch horror movies past couple of days. I don't know why, I never usually do. Gourmet said, no, I didn't touch it. Yeah, it did pretty dang good, which is kind of crazy. When Lunk Dump. I don't even know where you can trade it anymore. ETH, maybe that's a lie. Maybe it's still available everywhere. ETH, actually, let's look at Bitcoin dominance first. 59.26. Can we continue to the downside? Hopefully. It does look like it maybe wants to reverse. We don't want that, though, for our alts at least. I don't know what to make of this. Hopefully we get a dump in dominance and a dump in, or a pump in price. What if I said midlife crisis? Do Kwon or me? I have not bought a convertible yet. I'm thinking about it. The van, if anything like causes a midlife crisis, it's gonna be this Chrysler Town and Country. Midlife Chrysler Town and Country. Oh, that's why horror movies? Maybe. I mean, it's not that weird because like I said, I listen to spooky stories like 24/7. So, anyways, ETH is down 0.19% since the daily close. We're currently sitting at 3,015.71 cents. I hope we stay above 3K for the weekend. But because it's the weekend, if we do dump, we'll probably pump on Monday to fill the CME gap. I don't know if the CME gap counts on anything other than Bitcoin, but we're going to pretend it does. So right now, ETH actually has not given up any of the recovery. We're right here, and our entire like inverse marge is all down here, which is pretty sick. If you flip that over, it's a top hat. And if you call this a hat, it's actually the hat, the 10-gallon Arby's hat. They have the meats. You know what I mean? I'm a big Arby's guy. Thoroughly enjoy Arby's. That could also be a midlife crisis thing. Volume looks good on ETH. Looks really good, actually. This looks great. Now, there is a little bit of FUD going around that apparently the Ethereum Foundation is dumping Ethereum, which is kind of crazy. So we'll see what comes of that. But right now, we're staying above 3K, and that makes me happy. RSI is almost entirely reset, and your momentum wave is starting to accumulate to the downside. We had positive money flow for a split second, and we're back negative. Sol is down 0.27% on the day, currently trading at 132.93. It does look like we're bouncing off of our neckline finally. We have given up a good chunk of our inverse marge right here. A good chunk of our recovery, which is not great. I'd say if we are going to reverse, our worst case scenario is like 128 to 130. And we're at 132 right now. Giovanni's cracking up. Tom Solix Goat said, what other candlestick patterns can you turn into hats? All of them. This is the Robinhood, the inverse Robinhood. This is the Good Burger. And then you got the McDonald's manager. What else can we do? There's, hold on, I can find one. Right. This is the Popeye the Sailor Man. What else do we got? This is the the newspaper hat. They're all just V-shaped recoveries. All right. Total 3 is down 0.22% on the day, currently trading at 858.57. We are back at this level. This 857 level, which we had on here for why? I guess because it was support and resistance and support and resistance. So it has some semblance of relevancy. I like to zoom out. Let's actually zoom out on this total 3 because this looks good. This total 3 zoom out. We've got pump and dump, violent pump and dump, more calm pump, violent dump, So my question to everyone here is, when you see this happen, this double top right here, and then you come down here, you get a dead cat bounce, and then you go higher, and then you start to go down again. How many people actually thought that we were going to go lower here? They probably thought this was the end. This is exactly like 2021. It's a double top from 2021. That's probably what everyone was saying. And that's exactly what didn't play out. You got your double top. You actually got a double bottom and continued to the upside. Now, is that going to play out again? I have no idea. Each one has been completely different. This one was a sharp pump and dump. This one was a double top. This one is actually like a pump and then a chop to the upside and then a dump. So they are all actually different shapes. I'm assuming each recovery is going to be different. This one was a linger to the upside and then an explosion. This one was like a big fat double bottom. What the hell is this one going to be? I have no idea. What if it's just a straight up recovery? That'd be pretty sick. Am I biased? Yeah, absolutely. Do I care? No. And you probably don't either. Razu said 4 cards, SMH, Monad, please. Could we get back Monad? Get it? Upper deck? I'm not familiar with the card terminology, but I do like it. So take a look at Monad. Monad. Let's see. MONAD. Is that the actual ticker? This is a blowfin. Okay. Fahid said like the stream and subscribe if you're new. Thank you, Fahid. Okay, we did look at this. So you've got clear support at 24.88 based on this previous price action. Let me try to go lower time frame, see if I can get a little more confluence out of these. Okay. So you got your clear support from this. You got support right here. What is this about? Resistance right there. And this is just about volume, kind of support and resistance right there. So that's the justification for these lines. So it's very thin relevance for each of these lines. So take this all with a grain of salt. Obviously, you got to pass judgment in your own way. We are trading in between 24 and 28. Psychological is going to be 25. You're kind of nowhere near that, which is good. You got a little double top action here. And a little bounce right here. I would not be surprised to see that double bottom. So, bullish case, I would look for double top, double bottom with a lower low, just to trick the bears, because that's how it always goes. Bearish case, I would look for a rejection here, a break below this, rejection, and continuation of the downside. That's what I would look for. Not financial advice. This is just my initial thoughts looking at this. Planning accordingly without really too much price history. I do see, I like this. This is like a clear attempted inverse head and shoulder that did not play out. Target would have been probably 45 or 40, not 45. Probably would have been 40. A little sloppy. I like the MW though. MW plays out really nicely when it does play out. So I feel like that I'm obviously more of a bullish bias person. So I would lean more towards the MW than the rejection, but you do want to look for a reaction at 28 if you do continue to pump from here. Okay, ADA. ADA is currently down 0.65% on the day, currently trading at 41.31. We are back below 42, which is not great. We are also back in our big yellow descending channel wedge setup. We got lower low right here on the lower time frame. Let me make this blue again. So we got lower low. Are we going to put in a third lower low, or is this going to be a higher low that actually like sets up the actual reversal? That would be nice. I would like to see that personally, but we'll have to wait. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, I don't know if we're going to really see too much on Saturday. Sunday is usually when everything starts to kick off again. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Most of these charts, including Solana, ETH, and Bitcoin, on the 4-hour have a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher. So we are seeing that play out. Money flow is negative. You are almost oversold on your momentum wave, and your RSI is not oversold. You're kind of chilling right at 39.40 level. So we'll see if we get a reversal or a continuation of the downside. Volume could pick up, but again, we're heading into Saturday, so don't expect much. SNEC is currently down 1.02% since the daily close. We're sitting at 13,917 again. Nice buy opportunity in my opinion. I'm a big SNEC guy. I think this thing's going to do quite a bit for me. It already has, so anything further that I get from this is just a bonus. We do have a little baby trend appearing here. Could it be a wedge? That'd be kind of cool. I just kind of put the top. The top is not as relevant as the bottom. The top is just me kind of trying to create a little bit of hopium, a little bit of copium for me, myself, and I. But the bottom I do like. You got lower low. I mean, I don't like it in the bullish sense, but I do like it for confluence. So we'll see. Obviously, this is just relative to MXC, but we do have positive money flow. Your momentum wave is entering oversold, and you, I don't know, you've got plenty of room to the upside on the RSI as well. So we'll see what happens, when it happens, if it happens, and we'll talk about it when it does. XRP currently sitting at 202.57. If we touch 2 again, I would look for a reaction off that. I would love to see it bounce. I'm not a fan of the RSI being higher when the price is almost the same. So I suppose I would like to, if we do touch $2, see where the RSI is at, to see if we're going to establish bullish or bearish resistance, or bullish or bearish, what's it called? Divergence. Bullish or bearish divergence on the RSI, if any. And I don't know, money flow's been negative on the 4-hour since pretty much November 3rd, which is crazy. Like, we've had these little spurts, but that doesn't mean much. So positive money flow, probably a necessity for a lot of these charts. I'm liking these wicks down here. It's indicative of a little bit of buying pressure, even if it's not a lot. And we had, you know, wicks on both sides over here, so they do mean something, at least in the 4-hour time frame that we're looking at the moment. If you go to the daily, it's a different story. Every chart's going to tell a different story. But volume, kind of a steady increase compared to, I don't know why I picked that, compared to this little slump right here. So hopefully number go up on all of these charts. H bar currently sitting at 1338.6. Volume could be a little bit better. RSI got a bearish cross over the moving average on December 4th, which was yesterday. We are almost oversold on our momentum wave on Market Cipher. Money flow is negative. RSI has plenty of room to the upside. We are still at our higher low territory, so can we get a bounce here? Ooh, I actually kind of like that. Can we get a bounce here and look at some upside? I kind of like that, I do. And then you could even probably sell this top one as well. Yeah, look at that. Now, I guess the only problem here is I think that this is a bearish pattern. So hopefully that's not what plays out, but we'll have to wait and see. When you unintentionally draw a pattern and it's bearish. We'll see what happens though. It looks good for all possibilities. I do like the lower trend line though. SWE is currently sitting at 0.13% to the downside, currently trading at 155.35. 154.67 is the point of confluence that we're sitting right on top of. Can we get a bounce here? Or is it going to break and then try 148 next? With a potential reaction at 150 for psychological purposes. We were overbought back here. SWE, for some reason, broke out of this pretty angry, which we do like to see. That's momentum, that's volatility, that's tradable. Without volume, volatility, and momentum, nobody would ever be able to make any money trading. You do have a confirmed green dot on Market Cipher back here, a confirmed red dot on Market Cipher back here, both of which are playing out. Obviously, the green played out, red is playing out as we speak. Is it going to just kind of linger in the middle after everything's said and done? Probably, and that's probably what's going to happen on most of these charts. Is bulls and bears are going to duke it out, and then we're going to end up dead center in the middle with neither side having any money left. And then we're all going to have to wait for like tax time or payday or something. We're going to have to mortgage the house again or some crap. Money flow is negative. we are getting that potential bounce off of that 154 level. 155. I like it. We'll see where she goes. Ondo, currently at 0.24% on the day, sitting at 46.48. Literally retraced the entire recovery here. Not a great look, honestly. It is bottom, bottom, bottom over and over again with a lot less upside every single time. That is a bad sign, in my opinion. Are we going to get a reversal and a little bit of hope soon? I hope so. Otherwise, I can't, I can't continue to look at this and pretend like I'm going to see upside because I don't. And again, that goes back to that mindset of looking at the charts the wrong way, because this is way down here. I just personally, if they don't have the fundamentals or even just the marketing to have some semblance of a little bit of a recovery before, continuing down versus just this straight down scenario on the 4-hour, then why is anyone going to look at it in a month or two or in a bull market? You know what I mean? We need to see some action. Right now, there's nothing. Looks like doo-doo. Hopefully, it can blast the upside and prove me wrong, but for now, I would like to see it get back above 50 before I even start to give a crap about it, because under 50 looks like junk. Arrow, on the other hand, is at 0.14% on the day, currently trading at 65.28. I had a little dyslexia there. Excuse me. We did reject 75, which in turn resulted in us not even touching 76, which makes me sad, because 76 is my entry, but maybe I'm going to DCA and lower my average a little bit. Nathanley, 59.20, shared the peen of dump. Thank you, Nathanley. I do enjoy the peen of dump. We actually legit got the peen of dump right here, which is hilarious because this came after the the icon. So are we going to get further peen of dump here? Probably. We should have seen it, honestly. It was the ultimate sign from Satoshi himself. The peen of dump has spoken. Anyways, we did get below 66.03 again, which was our little short-term support right here. It's probably going to become resistance if we continue to lose levels. Bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI yesterday, pointing to the downside. We do look like we might be trying to curl up. That is with the current candle right now, so that could change any moment. Volume looks okay. We're heading into the weekend, so don't forget that. We do have a red out of the momentum wave, pointing to the downside, and negative money flow. So signs are kind of pointing towards downside. Hopefully we get a bounce around 60, so that way we can talk about how bullish it is that it made a higher low. That would be exciting. But for now, Pinlink. Pinlink is down 0.84% on the day. A lot of upside wick right here. I don't like that. That's indicative of some serious selling pressure. So we'll keep an eye on that candle in particular. Red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside. We had positive money flow for like 30 seconds. We are still technically just above the purple trend line. We got a little breakout, the most lazy sideways breakout ever. It's testing that support right now. If we lose that, I don't even know where we're going, if I'm being completely honest. I really wanted Pinlink to stay above 12.05. If it gets below it, it's going to get really, really spicy and dicey. And I have like chronic heartburn, so I'm not a big fan of spicy dice anymore. I used to be. I like a little jalapeno on my Jimmy John's, but I do have to like preemptively take Pepcid AC beforehand. You have to like plan ahead for that meal. Render's down 6.38% on the day. We have fully retraced the inverse marge here as well. Now, I guess we'd have to see the price get below this low point in order to determine again if we have bullish or bearish div. As of right now, there's nothing. Price is up, RSI is up, but that's something I'm looking out for. We do have a bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI from yesterday. Red dot on the momentum wave, also pointed to downside, playing out as we speak. We have yet to reach oversold on the RSI and on market cipher, so both indicators pointing down with no signs of a surefire reversal yet. But if we get a reversal, I'm sure it'll just lag. So 163.50 39 on render. Can 150 hold? It kind of did last time. It's a nice psychological level. Are we going to just put in a lower low over and over again? Lower low, lower low? Probably. Maybe. If we don't, then you could technically call this a fugly inverse head and shoulder. And the target would be stupid. But I'm willing to play that game. Stellar is up 0.29% on the day, currently trading at 24.06. I'm sad that we lost 25. I'm also sad that, again, we've retraced majority of our inverse Marge. We had like a funky Bart, Marge. Are we going to get a Homer next? That'd be kind of funny. That would be pretty funny, actually. What does Lisa look like? Lisa's is like this. It would be kind of crazy. I do like, again, the 4-hour RSI curling to the upside, but that is just only taking into account the current candle. So that can change with the price action, and that candle did just open. There's still like 3 hours and 20 minutes left. So we'll see what it closes at. Volume going into the weekend is going to be a little bit slow, a little bit boring. Getting back above 25 is going to be a big deal. We do, again, just as the other ones, have potential for a higher low here. So keep an eye on that and see if that plays out to our favor. Momentum wave, almost. Actually, no, that did just cross oversold. So there's a potential rebound there. We got a confirmed green dot on market cipher point to the downside, and money flow is negative at the moment. It has been negative for quite some time. Yeah, we haven't really seen like consistent positive money flow since September. So it's been a couple months. I'm telling you guys, business cycle, liquidity, it's all out there. Polkadot, very similar to Stellar. Let's hold $2, hopefully. Otherwise, it's going to get really spicy. Fartcoin, up 0.21%. Fartcoin, again, outperforming everything. Not since October, but since November 22nd, absolutely. If you would have bought on November 22nd, at the Pico low, you'd be up 106% right now, which is pretty sick. So, a lot of volume, which is very interesting. This is very specific to MXC, so keep that in mind. But look at this volume spike. Comparison to this low volume, you got a little baby spike right there. Really, really low volume. It like goes lower further in the past you go. This is a ton of volume right here, so it looks good. Green dot of the momentum wave, point of the upside, and positive money flow. About to get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI, perhaps. See what happens. It actually looks decent though. Fartcoin looks pretty decent compared to everything else, which is very ironic. CAS is currently at 0.53% on the day. Perhaps are we gonna get a bounce off of 51.78? That'd be exciting. Let's see. Is this a flag as well? I think we talked about this possibility yesterday. For this being a flag. We got rejection, support, rejection, support. Bam. Can it just break to the upside? If it does, what would our target be? Let me do lines. Let me do proper lines. I don't remember how to do. Nope, that's not what I wanted. There's a command for lines, isn't there? For a trend line. Dang it. Okay. I mean, it's a little bit sloppy. That looks better. That looks much better. Okay, so if that's the case, and we do the full flagpole at financial advice, potential breakout target of like 80 or 8 cents, which is pretty crazy. Maybe I'll buy some CAS. I actually don't hate that. It actually makes sense, a lot of sense too, because this thing's been getting just shafted for the longest time. You had a little baby recovery here, and then it continued down further. So I think everyone kind of had the wind knocked out of them, wind taken out of their sails, if you will. So if this recovers, it just feels appropriate when something is so pushed down so hard, kind of like Lunk. Lunk is a good example of that as well. Avalanche is up 0.15% on the day, currently trading at 13.23. Probably going to buy more Avalanche because it's touching the yellow line again. I think this yellow line is a no-brainer. It is a legacy trend line that we have followed. There's not a ton of confluence here, but that's because it spends majority of its time well above this line. You got touch, it launched touch explosion. Bear market, touch explosion. Bear market, touch explosion. Am I wrong? Also, Look at this. Jeez. This is bull market. This is bear market. What is this? This is definitely not a bull market right here. That's like consolidation almost. It's trippy. Trippy to look at. For sure. Okay, 4 hour. Yeah, I'm probably going to buy some of this. Again, if we lose this line, then it's probably going to be really, really bad for a pretty decent chunk of time. But we'd have to lose it on a pretty decent sized time frame. Like at least the weekly, maybe even the monthly. But the weekly for sure. Probably the weekly. The monthly is maybe pushing it. The monthly is probably pushing it a little bit. But the weekly, let's stay above it for the weekly and I'll be happy. Chainlink is up 0.15% on the day, currently trading at 1361. We seemingly rejected 15. Whoops. Seemingly rejected 15. We got a little inverse marge right here. And that level, that median level, the yin-yang level, I'm going to call it, is 1339. And it does look like we got our breakout and we're getting our retest right now. Can we continue to the upside? That would probably be the most bullish scenario for Chainlink in particular. Chainlink has been performing really well and it's getting a lot of talk on X again, which is exciting because it seems like people are waking up to it. And I don't know if maybe that's just because I'm talking about it more. So X is like, oh, he wants to see this. That's entirely possible for sure. But this trend line looks good too, actually. Look at this. There's a ton of confluence back here. I don't have to explain it to you guys. You got tons of touches, not a lot of touches on the bottom. The bottom's not really relevant anymore because we're above it. So we got resistance, tried above it, failed, and then rebounded, and is now maybe retesting that 1339 level. Otherwise, we could technically go all the way down to 12-ish and bounce, and that would be a bullish retest without actually establishing a lower low. That would be a higher low as well. So the potential is definitely there for further downside, but I like this potential reversal as well. Bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI on Thursday, currently playing out. Also red dot on the momentum wave, pretty much linked up with the red dot confirmed on Market Cipher at the Pico top. So we'll see where that goes as well. Doge, not a whole lot going on with Doge. Also a potential reversal here. I guess we got lower low here. Can this be a higher low and present a potential trend reversal? Hopefully. RSI looks like it maybe is trying to bounce up and maybe get a bullish cross soon after that. We do have a red dot in the momentum wave, point at the downside still in play, and we have yet to reach oversold on Market Cipher. Near, let's see if Near can get back above 169 for the weekend. Otherwise, $1.60 is going to be our level to watch for either a double bottom or a lower low. Or a higher low. You know, something to keep an eye on. RSI, yet to cross into oversold territory. It's pretty dang close, though. Momentum wave on Market Cipher, also pretty dang close. Red dot, bearish cross, downside, playing out. Pengu allegedly has a large unlock coming. So if you guys are Pengu people, just be careful. Keep your eyes on everything. And make sure you position accordingly if that is a concern to you. We got a unconfirmed red dot right here, which is interesting. Because it didn't have enough whatever to confirm. We are also very close to entering oversold on Market Cipher. And bearish cross over the moving average on Thursday. Playing out. Does look like it's trying to curl over and set up a potential bullish cross for Saturday. So we'll see what plays out with that as well. Don't forget, guys, next week we got FOMC and hopefully Fed rate cut. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. When is December rate cut? It is going to be December 10th. So yeah, it is next week. Next week, December 10th, which is Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday, we're looking for a Fed rate cut. Now, is that going to result in an immediate pump to the upside? Probably not. I'm pretty sure if we backdate most Fed rate cuts for a sell the news event in the very, very short term, long term, obviously, it's bullish. So, Silver had a crazy day today. It is starting to decouple from the fractal, which kind of blew my mind. It's still lingering around 58. It did hit an all-time high today, though, of 59.3333, which is crazy. It is up 2.1% on the day as we speak, sitting at 58.29. is the fractal going to play out in some way, shape, or form? And are we going to retouch 52 before continuing higher? Or did we already have this play out back here and it's just going to, continue a broader uptrend over time versus the decent sized pullback required? Zero. What's going on, Zero? Long time no see. How you doing, my friend? 58.29 for silver. Let's go take a look at gold as well. Gold currently sitting at 41.97, still struggling to get above 42.20, which is a relatively decent point of confluence based on support and resistance right here. We knew it was going to be relevant, and lo and behold, it is very relevant. Is this going to end up being a bongo cat pattern? It actually looks like it might, which I think on the chart is bearish. RSI bongo cat is bullish, and this is strictly based on nonsense that we've observed through the summer. So the bongo cat thing is kind of a meme, if you will. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI, red dot in the momentum wave on market cipher, positive money flow, but negative price action on the 4-hour at least. So we'll see if we end up breaking above 42.20. As of right now, it is the bane of gold's existence. I'm surprised it actually got a bounce off of that back here to establish that double top. I do like the breakout on the big boy triangle. I don't know if I like the targets. It seems like gold is such a huge beast and it's so hard to predict, in my opinion. But it looks good. Zero said, good man, busy with college last semester, so assignment and presentation overload. How are you? That's awesome, Zero. Cheers. Congratulations on college. It's very cool. I've been pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Excited for Christmas. I did mess up, though. We ordered the Christmas presents, and I normally have them sent to my mom's, so that way we can wrap them there and like sneak them in on Christmas. And I had them sent here. I had them sent to my home, so every day there's just a shit ton of packages outside, and I gotta like sneak them in here and hide them. And I think I'm gonna try to bring them to my mom's tomorrow, but we're only like maybe 30% delivered so far, so I gotta do this 2 more times at least. Oh, that was kind of funny. My fiance texted me the other day. She's like, you had everything sent here? And I was like, no way. Are you for real? So, yeah, we've been dealing with that. It's the most privileged problem in the world, though. It's actually kind of funny. DXY. I like that we're sitting below this support. We got resistance back here, turned support, hopefully turned resistance again. I don't know if RSI is really relevant on the DXY, but there is a potential push to the upside there. I would love to just see this. We got break, rejection, and a little bit of a linger. Maybe make that a little double top. That'd be kind of cool. A little double bottom, double top, WM. Continuation. I don't know. Does TA work on the DXY? Probably not. But we'll see. Strategy down 3.77% on the day, sitting at 178.41. It looks like it's rejecting 190. Is it going to get support at 170 or 175? Who knows? Red dot on the momentum wave pointed the downside, bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI from today, also signaling further downside. NASDAQ up 0.43, a little bit decoupled from the fractal, but if we scoot it, it looks great. But we're not going to do that because we're not cheaters. So we'll see what Monday, if the fractal is, to be believed. We did get a complete, 180 from this, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did that right here as well. But if not, if it follows it, then we're looking at a nice little pump right here. We'll see what happens. S&P, as fractal 3.0, looking at beautiful. Looking at a little choppy upside right here, and then Thursday, Friday, a little dump. Heading into Christmas. Wait a minute. I'm on the 4-hour? We're looking at, okay, Thursday, Friday, there we go, Monday again. And then, okay, so we're looking at 2 weeks, couple weeks before that dump. I got a little carried away. Excuse me. If the fractal is to be believed again, I'm not saying it's 100%, but if we're just going off of the fractal, Bitcoin dominance up 0.03% since the daily close. We're sitting at 59.29. Are we going to get a pump from here? And if we do, is it going to break above 60? I don't know, it is doing the tons of dots thing right here. Last time it did that, yeah, it did like a little bit of a whoopsie poopsie and then a dump, and we do like the dump. So let's see if that plays out. I kind of like that. Not that that has to happen exactly the same way every single time, but it's a concept. It's an idea. Bitcoin is up 0.08, sitting at 89,404. I wonder if we're going to close above 90 for the weekly close. News articles. U.S. exporters sold 462,000 tons of soybeans to China. I thought that was kind of funny. Vitalik is dumping Ethereum again. Foundation's wallet unloading millions in ETH directly from the Gnosis safe right now. Simple manipulation or intentional dump. I mean, if they need money, they need money. I don't know if it's... Can it really be intentional? Like, if I buy groceries, is that an intentional dump of the dollar? Or am I just buying groceries? You know what I mean? Not everything has to be this big cabal. Watcher Guru posted, EU fines Elon Musk's X $140 million for allegedly misleading users with verified badges and not giving them access to its data. That is probably the most frivolous lawsuit, or fine, I guess you're gonna call it, I've seen in a while. It's been a while since I've seen some goofy shit like this. White House advisor Hassett says it's time for the Federal Reserve to cautiously start cutting rates, like they haven't been already. 125 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes. That was 8 hours ago. President Trump to unveil new AI platform, Truth AI. Luna started pumping yesterday, literally because Do Kwon sentencing is on the 11th. U.S. prosecutors recommended 12 years for Do Kwon over the 2022 Terra UST collapse, calling it a $40 billion colossal fraud. Sentencing is just 6 days away, sparking speculation. Will it be lighter, 5 years, as Kwon requested? A favorable outcome could signal closure and revival for Terra. Contrarian traders are betting on buy the rumor, sell the news. Pumps often precede legal milestones, and distressed assets like this X chatter ties the surge directly to this. With posts like Do Kwon case on December 11th approaching, is this the real reason? Risk, if sentencing is harsh, it could trigger a dump as seen in the past Terra volatility. Interesting. On CNBC, Anthony Scaramucci said Solana will be an industry standard. I agree with him. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says Texas is the first state in history to purchase Bitcoin. I stand with President Trump and hope to make Texas the epicenter of America's digital future. Hell yeah. Whale clips 2 minutes ago, 1 billion USDT sent from HTX to Aave. Specifically 1 billion and 1 USDT, which is pretty sick. That's pretty cool. This was an ad that I saw earlier for Polymarket. I thought this was pretty cool as well. Against all odds, Polymarket's US app is now being rolled out to those on the wait list. We're launching with sports, followed by markets on everything. Very cool. The Jensen Huang effect. Somebody, I'm going to guess right now that it was Tishu. It could have been Tom Silkscoat or Giovanni as well. Somebody recommended we look at Oklo a while ago for nuclear stocks, and it is currently up 24% this week after Jensen Huang said the future of AI will be powered by small nuclear reactors. Now, before any of this, my Robinhood nuclear stock of choice is SMR. And it's a very, very low cap, like high risk play. But it did really good on the small nuclear reactor news. It is down significantly for the year, but for the past week, it's up 11%, which I'm pretty proud of. I'm relatively decent at picking stocks, but I don't think that that's because, oh, I'm good at picking stocks. I think that that's just because the stock market is doing great right now. It's doing what, like, the alt season market is supposed to do during a alt season, where you just throw money at everything and everyone's a genius because they're like, oh my gosh, I made a 10x yesterday. That's what the stock market is right now. So I'm like, I'm good at picking stocks. In reality, the stock market is just good at going up, and I put money in it. That's all that happened. Gourmet Brand said Oklo. That was me. Okay, nice. Good suggestion. I hope you made bank on it. I have it on a list, but I have not bought any yet. So I'm a little bummed. This came a little too premature. Otherwise, I could have capitalized on it. I guess I didn't really have a schedule. This one out of nowhere. I guess I didn't really pay too much attention with what the hell they're up to, but Netflix acquired Warner Brothers. Warner Bros. Discovery for $72 billion in one of the largest media acquisitions of all time. That's freaking insane. Recent layoff announcements. U.S. government, 307,000 employees. UPS, 48,000. Amazon, up to 30,000. Intel, 24,000. Nestle, 16,000. Verizon, 15,000. Accenture, 11,000. Ford, 11,000. Novo Nordisk, 9,000. Microsoft, 7,000. PwC, 5,600. Salesforce, 4K. IBM, 2,700. American Airlines, 2,700. Paramount, 2,000. Target, 1,800. General Motors, 1,500. Applied Materials, 1,444. Kroger, 1,000. And Meta, 600. Where will all these people go? Unemployment. Definitely unemployment. Breaking: President Trump has approved tiny cars to be built in the U.S. I don't know what the hell these are, but I'm probably going to buy one. I'm a big fan of ugly cars, and I imagine tiny cars are going to be pretty ugly. The Truth Social post from Trump says, I have just approved tiny cars to be built in America. Manufacturers have long waited to do this. Just like they are so successfully built in other countries, they can be propelled by gasoline, electric, or hybrid. These cars are the very near future. These cars of the very near future are inexpensive, safe, fuel efficient, and quite simply amazing. Start building them now. Thank you to the DOJ and the Department of Transportation and Environment. Enjoy, President Donald J. Trump. I feel like every post of his reads like an infomercial. I have just approved tiny cars to be built in America. Manufacturers have long wanted to do this. Just like they are so successfully built in other countries, they can be propelled by gasoline, electric, or hybrid. Call now. That's pretty goofy. I'm excited for tiny cars, though. I don't know what they are, but I need one. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said that was about a month ago. It was a little higher. Oh, interesting. Okay. I had no idea. Yeah, the energy sector has been destroyed. I'm suspecting with all this AI junk that the energy sector is going to have a surge if the AI scenario is not a bubble. If it is a bubble, then I don't think energy is going to do anything because we don't need more energy for a bubble. You know what I mean? Like if all of this AI stuff is just like hollow pumpage, then energy probably won't do anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a front. I don't know. It's hard to explain. September PCE inflation, the Fed's preferred inflation measure, rises to 2.8% in line with expectations of 2.8%. Core PCE inflation fell to 2.8%, below expectations of 2.9%. Headline PCE inflation is at its highest since October 2023, yet the Fed will keep cutting rates. They better. The CDC, this one's weird. The CDC has decided to reverse a long-standing recommendation that all newborns receive the hepatitis B vaccine. This recommendation first began in 1991. Dang. Philly said, dude's back in the hospital again. I hope you feel better, Philly. What's going on? It's Friday. Cheers. At least it's Friday. Get well. The lowest paid workers are being left behind. Wage growth for the bottom 25% of the U.S. earners has slowed to plus 3.5% on a 12-month moving average basis, the weakest pace in at least 7 years. This marks a sharp decline from 7% growth seen in 2022, when lower-income workers led nationwide wage gains. By comparison, average U.S. wage growth is now at 4.2%. Meanwhile, workers across the top 75% of the income distribution are still seeing wage gains above 4%. As a result, bottom earners have lagged the national average since mid-2024, a pattern not seen since at least 2018. The wealth gap is widening at an alarming rate. U.S. leading economic indicators are still deteriorating. The ratio of U.S. leading to coincident economic indicators is down to 0.85, the lowest since 2008. That's quite a coincidence, isn't it? This ratio has now declined for 4 consecutive years. The Conference Board Leading Economic Index, LEI, tracks forward-looking data, including consumer expectations, manufacturing orders, weekly hours, and initial jobless claims. Meanwhile, the Coincidence Economic Index, CEI, measures current economic conditions in real time, such as non-farm payrolls. Historically, in every case where this ratio has declined as sharply as it has now, the U.S. economy was in a recession. Non-asset owners are struggling. That is very unfortunate. Gourmet said, dude, hospital, you okay? Billy said, I think the rate cut will be another short-term rally. Then we continue down to make a lower low, maybe. We will see. I'm excited for a potential quantitative easing. Today, Circle minted 500 million USDC on Solana. I thought that was interesting. U.S. prosecutors say Terraform Labs co-founder Do Kwon should receive 12 years in prison for the colossal fraud behind the $40 billion Terra USD collapse. His sentencing is scheduled for December 11th in New York. You know what's really unfortunate about this whole thing is that he named his baby daughter Luna. And that's what this child's legacy is, which is so unfortunate. I would change my name. Many major websites are down due to another major Cloudflare outage. Literally has been happening nonstop. I genuinely do not know why. Cloudflare and AWS has been both dropping like crazy the past month, and it's really weird. Mining one Bitcoin now costs $74,600 and $137,800, all in, pushing public miners to shift toward higher margin AI and HPC workloads. Crazy. Update, silver breaks to a new all-time high at $59 an ounce, and year-to-date gains now above 100%. What do you guys think it's going to close out the year at? That's kind of crazy. Japan's bond stress and weak JGB auction are pressuring global liquidity and cooling crypto sentiment, though some say it could strengthen Bitcoin's store of value appeal. Bullish, Eric Trump says American Bitcoin will soon surpass GameStop in the amount of Bitcoin held on its balance sheet. GameStop is sitting at 47.10. American Bitcoin is at 43.67, it looks like. Where is it? Where is GameStop? Yeah, GameStop, 47.10. American Bitcoin Corp, 43.67. Very cool. Michael Burry said, the moment your interest payments exceed tax revenue, your country officially becomes a Ponzi scheme. Thank you, Michael Burry. Altcoins. Summer Rally 2025 versus Winter Rally 2025-2026. ETH BTC is preparing for a strong rally. TA looks solid. RSI looks solid. MACD is moving into bullish territory. And crypto Twitter is a ghost town. This is usually the best recipe. Who's still here? You got a little descending broadening wedge, a breakout, an explosion. A descending broadening wedge, a breakout. What comes next? And I like, there's a ton of confluence here, and this is specific to ETH. Then you got resistance, resistance, breakout, support, explosion. Bunch of resistance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breakout, support, explosion. We'll see what happens, obviously, but it looks pretty good. And back here, the RSI was significantly higher. Back here, it's not high at all. MACD just crossed bullish as well on the daily. That's so exciting. I'm pretty stoked. Regardless of what happens, I'm pretty stoked. Tisha said Mike Novogratz has a Luna tattoo. Oh no, I forgot about that. There's no way he has not had that removed yet. There's no way. Gourmet said, oh man, hope you have a speedy recovery. Billy said, Gourmet, I lost a bit of blood during an exit only. Never happened to me before. Oh, damn. Yeah, get well, Philly. You gotta take care of that colon. The booty hole. That stuff is serious. As much as we joke about it. It's real. That's been... I go through bouts of irrational fears. And I think they're becoming more rational as time goes on. I had a stomach thing for a little while. I was really worried about stomach ulcers and stuff. And I think my most recent one is colon health. So I'm I have to regulate my bowels. Which, it's funny to say, but it's real. It is real. Billy said they're saying 2 nights for monitoring. Did they give you drugs? You got good drugs? Nurse, give Philly more drugs. He's on his phone. He's like, shut up with this stupid phone. I don't even know what I'm watching. All right, Bitcoin is chilling, 89,343. We've got Chart Nerd posting, the market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. We've got 1 year downtrend, 1 year downtrend, 1 year. I'm assuming starting soon, eventual downtrend. That's exciting. We'll see what happens. Billy said, diverticulitis. Diverticulitis. That sounds like what the charts are doing in my bags. U.S. M2 money supply hits a new all-time high of $22.3 trillion. Money printer go burr. Netflix getting pounded. Now it's lowest point since April, which is kind of crazy considering that the Warner Brothers acquisition. People apparently don't care, and they dumped it like crazy. Now the question is this a beautiful reversal candle, and is it going to explode to the upside come Monday? It's possible. Gourmet said, you have to watch your diet now? Absolutely. Billy said, drugs. Yeah, I learned the diet thing the hard way, too. I was drinking Bang for a little while, and I was like, heck yeah, there's so much caffeine. And I justified it by saying it's saving me money, because instead of having to drink like 3 or 4 Red Bulls a day, I can drink like 1 or 2 Bangs and get way more caffeine. More bang for your buck, pun intended. And every single day on my way home, I was having panic attacks. And I didn't realize it. I'm like, I would never have a panic attack. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I was just having way too much caffeine and no food. It was just caffeine in my body. I'm lucky I didn't overdose on caffeine. Ridiculous. So then I stopped drinking Bangs, and lo and behold, I stopped panicking. I was like short of breath. My heart would get all weird. It was crazy, dude. That shit's real. It is. That's why I like tea now. I'm big, super chill with the tea. Bitcoin potentially reversing here on this 88.7 line. Netflix getting pounded. We've got 33% of Americans think now is a good time. Only 33% of Americans think now is a good time to find a quality job. The fewest in more than 4 years. That actually is not surprising. 2022, people thought, this was coming out of the pandemic, so that makes sense. 2020, 2021 was really bad. And then 2022, everyone was like, yay, we can go work in person now. So that's not surprising. Then we've got the last one. This one was interesting to me. Home Depot forms a death cross for the first time since April. The last one marked the bottom. Lumber prices have gone down as well. So look, we got death cross, a little dump, and then beautiful recovery. Death cross, we're probably going to get a little dump, and then a beautiful recovery. I'm actually going to add Home Depot to my list. Philly said, I swear my wife has earned her wings 100 times over. She puts up with so much. She's gonna help the booty hole, Philly. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said, I'm off energy drinks. My wife drinks them like crazy too. My fiance never got into them. She gets too jittery. She just recently got me coffee though from this place down the street from the theater. And oh my gosh, it is so good. And it's like bougie. I get like the pour over Brazilian dark roast. It is so freaking good. So now every time she goes out there, I'm like, give me a coffee. And she brings me home one. And if it's too late, I'll just save it for the next day. But I was off coffee for the longest time. Started drinking it again because of that delicious coffee. Bang is pretty good. Ton of good flavor. So Monster sued Bang because Bang lied about their label. They said it contained some kind of amino acid and it didn't. So they sued them and then won a ridiculous amount of money. Monster literally sued Bang for false advertising, won like billions of dollars. Bang couldn't pay it, so they filed bankruptcy, and then Monster was like, we'll buy you. How crazy is that? That's like the most gangster shit I've ever seen in like the beverage industry. So Monster owns Bang now, in case you guys were not aware. Did you know, though, the largest energy drink company is Red Bull, and it is family owned? That was pretty exciting when I learned that. The summer edition, I don't even know if it's called the summer edition anymore. The green one, the green Red Bull. Oh shoot, what's it called? It's like something elderflower. It's so tasty. I love the green one. It's delicious. Tom Selk said, can't find Bang anymore since then. I think you got to go to like the dollar store. I've seen it like a handful of times in like Dollar Tree and stuff. But yeah, I agree. They kind of sued them into oblivion. Monster used to make Monster. It was called Monster Energy Super Sport. It was non-caffeinated, or I'm sorry, it was caffeinated. It was non-carbonated, like juice in this black plastic bottle, and they had branched chain amino acids in it, and it was so freaking good. The Blue Streak one, I don't know what flavor it was. It was like watermelon, honeydew melon, blueberry, blue raspberry, something. It was blue. The drink was blue, and it was so freaking good. And it got to a point where I was just subscribed on Amazon to receive a case like every week. It was that good. And they stopped making them. First, they stopped selling them in the Midwest, and I had to still order it from like California. And then they stopped making them altogether. To the point where I like called them and shit. And they're like, oh no, we're still making them. I'm like, no, you're not. They don't have them anywhere. And they're like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. What? Ridiculous. So I was very heavily addicted to this delicious beverage from Monster for the longest time. If they ever come out with it again, I'm probably going to go bankrupt. Billy said, why would Monster sue Bang for false advertising? How does Bang lying hurt Monster that they were able to seek damages? So I could make that argument actually right now. Bang claims that they have this thing in their drink and they don't have it, but if people buy it instead of buying Monster, because Monster doesn't have this thing in their drink, Bang does. It says it right here, but it didn't actually say that. Or it did say that. It didn't actually have that ingredient in the drink. So I wondered that same thing. I was like, that's weird. Isn't the consumer usually the one who's entitled to sue somebody for false advertising? But no, it can be anybody apparently. They won. And it was a ridiculous amount of money. And Bang was like, we don't have it. We got to file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. And Monster was like, bankruptcy, you say? How about I make you an offer? They literally made them an offer they can't refuse. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Okay, Bitcoin looks like it's doing a little potential baby bounce reversal. That's exciting. We'll see if we get some upside for the weekend. We don't like pumpy weekends, but we will celebrate if it happens. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently down 50% or $500 US. We have zero assets in the green starting from the bottom. Aptos is currently down 72. Fetch is down 70. Render is down 57. Ondo's down 54. Proppy's down 52. Shib is down 47. Ada's down 46. Near's down 44. Doge is down 43, and Sol is down 21. Next, we've got the meme coin portfolio, currently down 578, or 57.8%. None of these assets are in the green either. Starting from the bottom, GigaChat is down 165. Snek is down 137. Pepe is down 108. Whip is down 89. And Doge is down 71. Nope, 81. Doge is down 81. Then we've got the narrative portfolio, my favorite, and the least volatile. Or most stable? I don't know. What do I usually say? I forget. Currently down $200 or 40%. None of these assets are in the green either. Starting from the bottom, Fetch is down 61. VeChain is down 54. Mana is down 45. Pepe is down 38. And Tau is down 5. And then last but not least, the perfect entry portfolio currently down 415 or 41.5. Currently being outperformed by the narrative portfolio. None of these assets are in the profit either. Starting from the bottom, Avalanche. We literally bought the Pico top of Avalanche. I think thanks to Scaramucci. So thank you, Scaramucci. It's our fault. We made the decision, but I'm still going to flip people off. Avalanche currently down 62. Render is down 61. Pith is down 56. Graph is down 50. Sweet's down 50. Ondo's down 48. Crow is down 33. Sol is down 26. ETH is down 22. And Link is down 10. And that is it. Who has seen Weapons yet? And if you have not, you should watch it tonight. Because it was really good. It was so good. The actors are all amazing. I'm trying not to do spoilers. It was really good. Highly recommend. Go watch Weapons. It was a fantastic movie. Spooky, suspenseful, mysterious. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Billy said, so Monster bought them just to take the product off the market? Damn. I don't know if they took it off the market. I think that they're just not selling as much. I will say, I think that Bang came out strong. I don't know if they were profitable to begin with, but they literally had like hundreds of flavors. That's too much. Monster's doing the same thing. And they kind of just release flavors, and whatever people buy in whatever place, they make and send those flavors to that place. So whatever I have here in Michigan, you guys down in Philly might not enjoy at all. So your Monster selection might be completely different from mine. Same with Bang, if any. Like Bang might only be popular in like the Philippines and Australia or something, for all we know. Mr. Roberts said, hey gang, Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, Philly, you on the East Coast? They still sell them around these parts. Yeah, check the dollar stores. I've found them a lot at the dollar stores, which I think is part of how I've discovered that they were going to discontinue my Monster that I liked, because usually they only start selling stuff in the dollar store when they're not going to make it anymore, which is incredibly upsetting. But you get a good price, so check the dollar store. Bitcoin looks good here. Right for now. I'm liking the wicks. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? Happy Friday, my friend. This wick obviously didn't turn out too well, but I like this wick and a subsequent slowing down of the candles. We got a potential for like a little, like I said, we got inverse Bart, inverse Marge, inverse Homer. Let's see what plays out. Gourmet Brand said definitely in Dollar Tree. That's what I thought, yeah. Billy said we have probably 8 different Monster flavors. Oh, we have like 20. There's like there's a green tea one. I was drinking that one for a little while. There's like a berry one. I like the non-carbonated ones. And that's probably unhealthy, because I think the only reason I like those ones is so that I can like inhale them. But I like to inhale my energy drinks. Sue me. I actually drink workout supplement now, because Monster got me straight addicted to branched chain amino acids. So this right here is Optimal Nutrition Blue Raspberry branched chain amino acids, which is freaking delicious. Highly recommend. It's the closest that I can get to my Monster Energy Blue Streak. Monster Energy Super Sport Blue Streak. Billy said, yep, I read that. Mr. Roberts Doodle. What's going on, Mr. Roberts? Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map. I also want to look at Bitcoin monthly returns. Yesterday, maybe today as well, were full moon. So we got that. Great. Currently, for Q4, ETH is down 27.27% and Bitcoin is down 21.82%. All things considered, the Bitcoin to altcoin, Ethereum being like Papa altcoin, the ratio is not that bad. Honestly, alts are genuinely holding up really well compared to this Bitcoin dump. Usually, Bitcoin goes down, what is this, like 10%, 5%? Bitcoin goes down 4.6%. Alts are down like 50. And I wish I was joking. Like maybe 20 or 30. Sol right now, 7. ADA, 8. XRP, 7.5. HBAR, 10. SWE, 10. Like, that's not bad at all. Billy said, dude, careful drinking so many energy drinks, they could F up your heart. Gourmet said, yes, that's why I stopped. Oh, yeah. Aside from the heart effing up, I'm also terrified of kidney stones. Energy drinks can lead to kidney stones, but so can tea. Kidney stones are kind of all over the place when it comes to beverages. Mr. Robert said, hey, Philly. Gourmet said, I used to buy them by the case in Costco. I bought them by the case on Amazon. I did the subscribe and save. It was pretty lucrative. I go through like random transitions. I think I'm at the point now where it's just cheaper and better for me to drink water. I feel better throughout the day. I don't want to get home and like have my chest feel tight and then I'm all sugared up or crashing out. Philly strudel. Dude, toaster strudels are so good. They got the strawberry and cream toaster strudel. Ooh, delicious. I wish I had those when I was a kid. Billy said, buy the case. Whoa, Billy's an amateur out here. He's like, I just buy like one a week. That's too much for me. We're like, we mainline them straight into our veins. We actually just used to order the IV, Monster Energy IV bag. Just be on a drip all day, walking around with the thing. We're like, what's up? Everyone's like, what are you doing? You're like, nothing, just intravenous consuming my monster via my blood. Gourmet said, I had my gallbladder removed last month. Tons of stones. Oof, that's terrifying. Philly said, LMAO strudel. Mr. Robert said, that was gay. LOL. I gotta do better with my rhymes. At least you're self-aware. Okay. Let's see. 2025 December. We're down 1.38% so far. December average is plus 4.28. Median, so just the middle one, which is the weirdest metric, is minus 2.85. Yeah, look, we got a bunch of... Okay, so last year we were minus 2.85. This year so far we're minus 1.38. We got negative, negative, negative. Yeah, usually October, November negative equals December negative. Was September an anomaly? Are we supposed to be going through this right now? Like, was August the real start of the bear market? Kind of trippy to think about. I feel like the entire timeline is thrown out of whack now, no matter what way you look at it. Billy said, JJ, did you figure out what I meant the other day when I said you'd say, oh yeah, into the mic? I did not. Was it a Kool-Aid thing? Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, I was addicted to those drinks. Now I'm addicted to buying crypto. That's the way to do it, man. Honestly, buying crypto, like getting into crypto, was probably the best thing for me financially. Even if I've lost money in crypto, it made me save money. I had zero savings before. I was living paycheck to paycheck. Now that I'm in crypto, suddenly I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. I have savings. I have like potential retirement, not only with crypto, but with stocks. I'm like very savvy with my money. I don't buy crap that I don't need. I'm also not stingy because I have money, so I might as well spend it. But I'm not like, I'm going to buy 2 Red Bulls every single day. I try to think and I'm like, how can I not buy 2 Red Bulls every single day? You know, make coffee at home or make tea at home or buy this stupid supplement mix because it's only like $20 a month. If that. That's way less than, what would it be? If you bought 2 monsters a day, let's be generous and say they're 2 for $5. Even though we know they're not, let's say they're 2 for $5. You buy 2 a day. That's $5 times 365. That's $1,800 a year versus $240. So there's lessons for sure. Gourmet said, I had so many stones, the doctor said it felt like a bag of couscous. Ugh. I've heard so many things, like, I know a lot of people that have had their gallbladder removed, and it kind of terrifies me because I don't want to have to pay for that because I don't have health insurance. That's like my biggest fear ever. Everyone's like, are you okay? I'm like, I have to be okay. I can't afford to not be okay. It's messed up. Reese said, "Hoo yeah, what's going on, Reese? How you doing, my friend? We gotta play some DayZ soon, my guy. They're gonna have the Christmas trees because it's December, so we're gonna get some sick loot. Maybe we can find a sleigh crash. I wonder if they've done the Christmas December update yet. That's so much fun. And the creepy zombie Santas. Okay. What else were we gonna look at? I feel like there's something else. I'm gonna ask Grok something. What are we gonna ask Grok? I want to see, do you think the Fed will start quantitative easing soon? Let's see. I do think that we're getting an interest rate cut for sure. Mr. Robert said, even though I traded stocks before crypto, it taught me patience and made me look into cycles in general more closely. Great lessons. There's definitely lessons on both sides for sure. I think I hate to be this guy too because crypto is like my lifeblood, but I do think that the stock market is more safe, viable, long-term investment. I think eventually they're both going to kind of mesh into one another, and we're going to have like a crypto stock market that's essentially an amalgamation of the two. Like the extreme volatility shit coins meet like way less volatility, boring small gains, and they kind of just create like this happy medium where bear markets are like 30% pullbacks and they happen every 2 years on average, and whatever. I think it's gonna be weird. Gourmet said, bro, you have a kid, how don't you have insurance? My daughter has insurance. I don't qualify. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Mr. Robert said, yep, I read that. Okay. Let's see. Grok said, based on the latest developments, the Federal Reserve officially ended its quantitative tightening program on December 1st after reducing its balance sheet by approximately $2.4 trillion since mid-2022. This marks a shift away from actively draining liquidity, and the balance sheet is now expected to stabilize or potentially expand organically through mechanisms like repo operations. Example, a recent $13.5 billion injection, the second largest since the pandemic. However, this isn't full-blown quantitative easing yet. QE would involve large-scale asset purchases to actively inject liquidity and suppress long-term yields. The Fed has been cutting rates 150 basis points since September 2024, but long-term yields like the 30-year Treasury yield have risen about 4.8%, suggesting markets aren't fully buying into the easing narrative amid persistent inflation concerns. M2 money supply recently hit a record $22.3 trillion, which some view as a precursor to looser policy, but the Fed insists it's still in a restrictive stance. In my view, yes, the Fed could pivot to QE soon, say within the next 3 to 6 months, potentially in Q1 2026, especially if long yields continue climbing, forcing intervention to cap them, as hinted in recent analysis. Hell yeah. Global pressures mount, like Japan's bond market strains or Bank of Japan, rate hikes creating liquidity shortfalls that spill over. U.S. economic data softens under tariffs or other Trump-era policies, prompting a need for stimulus. The October 2025 FOMC minutes showed broad support for ending quantitative tightening, but no explicit quantitative easing plans yet, though all roads seem to lead back to easing if growth falters. With quantitative tightening done and liquidity stresses evident, recent repo surges, the setup feels primed for QE resumption, particularly under a potentially more dovish Fed chair in 2026. Risk assets like stocks and crypto could benefit, but it's not a done deal. Watch the December 17 through 18 FOMC meeting for clues. Let's freaking go. The Fed could pivot to QE soon, say within the next 3 to 6 months, potentially Q1 2026. That's awesome. That perfectly lines up with our 2026 call. As I said before, I'm fully prepared to be wrong and to lose all of my money. But I would rather be the idiot that lost his investment entirely because he believed in something than the idiot that sold his entire investment and missed life-changing money because for some reason the money that he had sitting there at a loss at this point was that useful to him at that exact moment than just being a little bit patient for a larger return over time. That's just me. Let's see. Philly said, no way. Monsters here are $4, but that's in Sunoco. That's crazy. Gourmet said, yes, Robbers, I agree with that comment. I definitely taught me to be more stoic and not be emotional. Philly said, Gourmet, he doesn't want for health insurance. That means less money for energy drinks and Starbucks. So I've looked into actually paying for health insurance, and it's insanely expensive, and it's for like the least amount of coverage is like $400 a month. And this was like 8 years ago. So it's probably like $600 a month or more now. and I would still have a huge deductible. So it defeats the purpose. It's actually cheaper for me to just pay to go to the doctor. It's kind of ridiculous. Health insurance is broken in the country. But, you know, my fiance and my daughter have insurance, so I don't really care. I don't pay for energy drinks, Philly. I remember, so where I lived, there was a freeway. We had my house, and then there was a cul-de-sac. Right, like you could leave my driveway and drive straight into a dead-end road with a cul-de-sac at the end. Or you turn left or right down my road. If you walked down the driveway, walked down that cul-de-sac and went through the woods, there was a truck stop through the woods. So me and my buddy, instead of walking all the way up to the gas station, we could walk up to this truck stop, and it would shave off like an hour of walking instead of going to the gas station. And we could pay $1.25 at the vending machine for a monster. And it was the coolest thing in the freaking world to us for like an entire summer. We would just walk up there with a bunch of quarters we scrounged from like whatever in the house. And we would both get a couple monsters. And then we'd play Halo all night. It was so much fun. I remember we bought like an extra large pizza with change one time. That was so messed up. Thinking back to it now, I feel really bad. But dude, getting pizza that day was so sick. It was fun. We made shit work, man. We made shit work. Anyways, guys, I'm probably going to call it an evening. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Mr. Roberts said, "Stoic for the win, Gourmet." The couscous comment you made gave me a shiver up my spine. Jeebus, dude. That's not fun, man. And Gourmet said, "Crazy, right?" Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that story. I'm glad you guys are all feeling better, though. Everyone, send well wishes and warmth and digital hugs towards Philly. Not in a gay way, though. He doesn't like that. We love you, Philly. We'll hope you feel better. Guys, as always, when Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Friday and good night.